I have my really big Pyrex dish here today, and I'm gonna get this sprayed. We are going to be putting together a chicken and rice hot dish. We're working through Joe's meal plan, and he asked, well, he didn't actually ask for this, but he was kind of stumped with ideas. I said, do you want something chicken? And he said yes. And then I said, well, what would you like chicken related? And then I just read like 3 things off, and when I got to this, he was like, that's what I want. So this recipe is in cookbook 1. I need to mix 3 cups of milk with 3 cans of condensed soup. And so what I usually like to do is 1 chicken, 1 mushroom, 1 celery. I don't have cream of celery, which is really a bummer because it's one of the flavors that I really, really like. But I have 2 cream of chickens and 1 mushroom, so that's gonna work today. I just set it right up here because I'm gonna use it right now. Thank you. Now I know the recipe says to do things like in layers. I pretty much just do that. 1.5 cups of minute rice. And if I would have had the gallon of milk in, I would have just measured it right into the measuring cup first. But I didn't have it in here, so 3 cups. And just mix it well. And just spread the rice out. I know it doesn't look like a lot of rice, but rice usually doubles in bulk. So we're just, woo, splashy, splashy. That's why my cookbooks always look the way they do. I'm gonna lay all of the chicken on here at this point. And this is quite a bit of chicken today. I know it's more. This is like actually 7 chicken breasts, boneless, skinless chicken breasts, where the recipe only calls for 4. But I might have an extra person here for supper tonight. And it's kind of nice to have leftovers if possible. And this pan is nice and big, so it'll fit all of it just fine. And I am going to pepper it. No salt. There's plenty of salt in the cream soups and the cheese. I have a whole variety of shredded cheeses here today. I just took all the little squares of cheese out of the fridge, shredded them all up, and that's what we're going to use here. So 2 cups. This is more than enough. I'm going to pour the rest of the soup mix over the top. I like to get it to the edges because I want that rice to be all covered. If the rice is not covered, sometimes you get like little hard crunchy rice, grains of rice, and that's not really all that good. Kind of make sure everything is tucked down in here. I'm going to dot this with some butter. So it doesn't have to be a lot of butter, just like that much is fine. I'm going to put this right into the oven. It's cold right now, it's fine. Set it at 275 degrees. This is going to go in the oven for 30 minutes, or oh my gosh, no, 3 hours. So usually once early on, I will give this a stir just because I don't want that cheese to get too brown in the oven. So maybe after like the first hour, 45 minutes to an hour. There is a little time involved in making this casserole because you have to cut up all that chicken. I mean, I suppose you could probably buy the chicken tenderloins and you could just lay them in there if you didn't want to have to take the time to cut it up. But chicken breasts are cheaper than tenderloins, and it doesn't take that long to cut up the chicken. I mean, it probably took maybe like 15 minutes or so to get all of that cut up. Again, if you want, just buy shredded cheese. That makes it really fast. No dishes have to be washed with that. Really, the only thing is just stirring up the soups and the milk. Let me get all of this put away. And I'm going to put together, I think for supper with this, we'll have green beans. And I'm thinking that Joe had asked for salad, possibly. And then we're also going to have cranberry sauce. Since the oven is tied up, and I do want to make some sort of little dessert thing, I'm going to make cornflake clusters. So 5 cups of cornflakes into a greased bowl, a cup of peanuts, This is 1-1-1. So 1 cup of sugar, 1 cup of corn syrup. I will bring this to a boil for 1 minute and then remove it from the heat and put in 1 more cup. And that time it'll be creamy peanut butter. Now I might run out of peanut butter or creamy, so I'll have to use a little chunky. That's gonna be fine. Be careful with that. You're gonna fold your plate like a taco.
Choco taco.
A choco taco.
Choco taco.
Good morning. I'm going to make some cranberry cake today. This is one of Warren's favorite cranberry recipes. It's a little bit drier of a cake, a little more dense, I guess. You can serve it with this hot caramel sauce over it. I know a lot of people love the hot caramel sauce over top of the cranberry cake. It isn't something that I ever make because, well, because Warren just likes this just plain, and quite honestly, everybody eats it without the caramel sauce, so I usually just don't make it. So I have 2 tablespoons of butter. I'm going to get this melted. We're going to stir in a cup of sugar, an egg, and then once all of that is nice and creamy, I will add in half a cup of milk. Cups of flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder. You can mix this in another bowl first to make sure everything gets mixed around, or just really sprinkle it kind of in the flour. That works too. And then we need a pinch of salt. Basically mix. There's a little bit of flour I see here and there when I stir. That's okay. I'm going to get the cranberries in now. And this is, yes, 2 cups of cranberries, whole or chopped. And I always go a little over. That's a lot of cranberries today. This is going to be some cranberry cake. And then you can put this into a pie plate. You can put it into, this is like a 9-inch cake pan. You can put it in an 8 or 9-inch square pan if you have that. I mean, really, whatever you want to put it into, just kind of bake accordingly. If it's a little bit smaller pan, it's going to have to bake a little longer because it'll be thicker. And if you start with frozen cranberries, it's going to have to bake longer as well because those cranberries, you know, they're cold. It just takes a lot longer for everything to warm up. These actually are straight from the garage from this year's crop. I had pulled cranberries for some ladies that were coming to pick them up, and I ended up I pulled too many. So now I have a bunch of cranberries out there. And I have people coming on Saturday to pick up, but I want to get them fresh cranberries that we pulled today. So I figured I better start making some things with cranberries so I can start using up the ones that are in the garage. We'll just smooth this out. I like it to be pretty smooth and even. And this is going to go into the oven, like I said, 375 for 35 to 45 minutes. We definitely like this to be very done. I usually err on the side of longer, but I'm usually starting with frozen cranberries too. So we'll see today how long it takes. Both of the recipes that I'm working through today are from cookbook number 1 in the desserts section. We have the cranberry cake with caramel sauce, sans caramel sauce for me today. And then I'm also doing cranberry apple spice bars. I added in a half teaspoon of salt and a half a teaspoon of cinnamon, but my battery had died and I didn't catch it right away. So let's get these things stirred in. Also the 2 teaspoons of baking powder are in here. And a surprise ingredient that I think just adds another depth of flavor is toasted wheat germ, a half a cup. I don't use this real often, so I do keep it in the refrigerator. We need a cup of cranberries. They can be whole or halved. And then you guys look at this apple. This apple is enormous. This is a Wolf River. Joe just went out and grabbed this for me. So I'm going to get this peeled, diced up. I only need a cup. This is going to yield way more than a cup. Chopped apples until it looks to be about a cup. This is going to be a half of an apple, and this is already yielding a full cup. And then we'll add in some walnuts. All these ingredients folded in, and then I will put this into a 9 by 13 pan. Oh no, sorry, it says 10 by 15. Yes, 10 by 15, which of course my 10 by 15 has chicken and rice in it from last night. Well, I'll have to use a metal one.
Tractor filled up. I got the ramp pulled out of bed. 15. Now I gotta probably probably start pulling pipe on bed.
You gotta, right over the top of this cinnamon sugar. As soon as I took out the cranberry cake, then I just turned the temperature down to 350 degrees and I put in the bars. These were in for 30 minutes. The house smells amazing, just like fall should smell. I'll let these cool. These actually, I think, are best if they cool completely. If you try to eat them too warm, the cranberries are actually so burning hot, you end up burning your tongue. So anyway, this is what they're looking like here today. Maria and I came out because we are heading down on the marsh to get some fruit, get cranberries for a couple of people that are coming tomorrow to pick up. And oh my gosh, the ladybugs. Can you guys see them just flying everywhere? Look at on the white. We were just over there, so we kind of disturbed them. But oh my goodness. Look at them they're just everywhere. They're ladybugs, but I think they're actually called Asian beetles.
Painted ladies, no.
No, that's a butterfly, hon.
Yeah, they're called like...
No, they're called like Asian lady beetles.
Yes.
Right? Asian lady beetles?
There's lady in it.
All I know is that after we have some good hard frosts and then a sunny day, they just come out in droves. So anyway, we're gonna go and get some fruit, but this is not, oh yeah, this is okay, this is okay. We only need about 20 pounds. Yeah. It's cold, it's rainy, it's morning. Warren said I did not have to go out to help with picking up pipe, but when Sam went out, he was like, well, I think if you were up on the dike, Mom, and maybe hooking up the pipe, once we got it out of the water, you would be able to do it. These are like, I think 3-inch, 4-inch, something like that, drop lock. And so anyway, they're heavy, but it's cold. Talk about vintage. This like neck scarf gaiter, I got this when I was in college, the first year I lived off campus. So that would have been I think I got this in the fall of 1991. And I mean, some of you watching probably weren't even born yet. And then this jacket is actually the jacket Warren was wearing when I first met him. His friend's brother was starting a musky bait, I think musky baits, I don't know, whatever it says on the back of this jacket, was starting a musky bait. Let me see if I can set my camera somewhere and show it to you. His college friend's brother was starting a musky bait business. And anyways, somehow he ended up with this jacket. So I'm gonna wear this. Then over it, I'm gonna put my 10-cent rummage sale find. This I got back probably in 1998 or 1999 for 10 cents at a rummage sale. Now let me put this on. This is just a great slippery over vest so that, and it's dark so it doesn't show the dirt when I'm doing any kind of work. It also doesn't collect like stick tights and burrs and just all the things that want to stick to anything that's kind of fuzzy. So anyway, this is today's outfit, right? What is it? OOTD? Outfit of the day. Yeah, this is OOTD right here. We're gonna top it off with some rubber knee boots that were once hip waders. So what Warren will do is once, like if hip waders get a hole someplace up in the upper part of the leg, he'll cut that part off, and then we will turn them into boots. And then once these maybe start to go bad, then what we'll do is he'll cut them off at the ankle and use them as ankle boots after that. So I guess you could say we're thrifty. All right, I am going to grab my gloves. Bought these at the Trappers Convention, I think for $2 last year. They've got like a little rubber coating on them. And so for my hands being smaller like than the guy's hands, and I'm sure my grip strength is a lot less, that little bit of rubber grip helps so that I can grab the pipe and it not twist too bad in my hands. If I go without gloves and there's a sprinkler head on the end, because every other pipe, sprinkler head, then no sprinkler head. If there's a sprinkler head on the end, I legit can't even hold it in the upright position. Okay, let's get out there. No one's waiting for me, they're not expecting me, but everybody is tired. And the grumpies are setting in. The whole I'm ready for this to be done is definitely settling in. So I'm gonna go and help, and maybe that'll lighten up the mood a little. Maybe I'll just tick them off. I don't know, we'll see. Yes. I'm actually gonna take the UTV. Oh, if I can get this door open. I just had to throw it in reverse because I drove by without stopping to take a picture of that. That is beautiful. That is amazing. Way to go, Warren. Wow. Beautiful, beautiful color. Gosh. These we call the swimming hole beds because years ago when Owen, Emily, Nick, and Amber, and I think even Sam was just a little boy at the time, like little. When they were digging out all of the area, it actually had filled in with water. And for a couple of years, I think, I'd have to ask Warren how long we had it like that, but it was our swimming spot. And so we just always called these the swimming hole beds because this is where we would come to swim years ago. And it had good high sides, kind of like the kids thought they were like mountains. They were just piles of the shell rock sand, but it was great. All right, that is beautiful. And let me zoom in. Maybe you remember in that video where I was over by another cranberry bed and there was a real dark patch of fruit in there. Well, this, let's see right there, that bed over there also has a patch of high reds. It was like another area that we were ramping up the high reds, and so you'll see a real dark patch of cranberries over there too, compared to the Stevens coloring of everything else. I'm going to zoom in here, but when I was just driving by blue heron, let's see if I can, a blue heron took off out of the one ditch here. There we go, that's as good as I can get it. It's just down there, probably looking for some fish or something. Fish, frogs, salamanders. You know how before I've said that maple trees, although lots of people think they're awesome, they really are just a weed here. All of those, all that beautiful color out there, that's actually maple trees. And it seems like as fast as they get pulled, they just come back in. All right, anyway, what I'm looking for, or what I'm waiting for now is for Sam to get all of this pipe down here. I think he's got 3 more. And then what's going to happen is I'm going to lift them up. And these are the 3-inch down here now. So these are going to be heavy. At least for me they are. So what's going to happen is I'm going to grab them from that position. And then I'm going to lay them out here on the dike and stake them into position. I don't know if I've ever dealt with these though. Warren calls these drop locks. And he was very clear that I have to be careful because the tabs can break if I don't line up the tabs properly. I was like, oh great. And then this valve down here, after the last pipe is pulled out, then this valve is turned off because this is like the dog leg here. That's what this is called. And, well, that's actually probably called the nipple. But the pipe underneath is called the dog leg. It's serviced by the main line over here. And if it doesn't get turned off, then when Warren has to watch for frost, which he's going to have to, well, the next 2 nights it's going to freeze. They're saying Tuesday night is supposed to be, I think he told me like 13 or something. but he should have everything flooded by that time. So hopefully he won't have to, well, he'll have everything flooded, so he won't be sprinkling that night. But anyway, if he does have to watch for frost, then what happens if you don't turn off that valve over there is water starts spraying at high pressure and makes a big old hole. So that's why we just made sure that we got that turned off. And that's good. Warren just gave Sam some instructions that the pipe is actually going to go on the far side, which is good that he said that, because if I would have started, I would have put it right next to the edge here.
I should have been more specific when I asked God for rain.
He didn't quite understand the assignment.
Quite understand what we had to do here.
All I keep thinking is, it's knocking down the dust. It's knocking down the dust. It's knocking down the dust.
Yeah, I'm not dusty at all.
Not right now, no. I see you got your chimney on today.
Trying to get the heat out, but I'm still sweating like a dog. Even in the cold rain. You're in the way.
I'm in the way.
You're in the way.
All right, well, I've come to help on this line now. And this is what Warren was talking about, the drop locks. They got these little tabs, so you kind of lift up, slide it in place, and then like pull it back. Yep. All right, time for the camera to get put away. It's getting wet. Probably not good for it. I ran back to the house. I needed to get some different gloves, so we're going to go with these long gauntlet ones. They're actually insulated. Those other ones I had, well, they're not insulated, so and they're not even waterproof. They're really just good for gripping on like the dry days. But since it's raining, okay, everything was soaking wet, and I was getting very, very cold. Like my fingers were just feeling almost frostbite. And I had to use the bathroom too. So, okay, I'm gonna leave the camera back here. It needs to dry out, and we have 2 more lines. We're just gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna wait for Sam to get to the one end, then I'm gonna work with him on that end. Then once we finish, Warren will have already gotten to his line, and then I'll go and help him finish his line. Maria and I came to Piggly Wiggly. Circled a bunch of things on their flyer, things that were good prices this week. They're having like a stock up sale. So anyway, we are stocking up on some things. All right, it's time to find Warren some wool socks because you don't need them until you do. And it is really cold, and he just needs some new wool socks. You know, and these may not be actually wool. Let me see. Oh, they call them a wool blend. But anyway, I put them through the washer and dryer. And I know that I probably shouldn't dry them so that they would stop shrinking. Look at the cuff. Like, how stretchy is it? What about this pair right here? Would you check this pair? They call that just a mid-weight. Okay, I think we're going to go with these. These are both called heavyweight, but we were looking for like extended size socks so that if they did shrink, they wouldn't get too small. They don't have anything here like that, so we're going to get these, and it's time to head home. Yay! Yay! But I'll show you what I'm eyeing up. It's these fleece-lined jeans. Oh my goodness, do those...
Oh yeah, Mirren, she had some, but then
Really?
they didn't fit me.
They have flannel in the men's, and I was looking if they had fleece in the men's, because I think Warren would like fleece. He has 2 pair of flannel lined jeans, but man, a nice fleece lined. Oh, I want these.
Get them.
I just don't know if I want to spend the money right now, because I just bought jeans, you know. Maria and I are home. We'll start with a couple of fun things. So I did get these socks for Warren. Hopefully that these are kind of what he was thinking. I also picked him up a pair of pants. I asked the lady at Tractor Supply, which she is just a hoot. She is something else. She's worked there for a while, and she's always so funny. Anyway, she came and she helped me, and yes, we did find the pants. They didn't have jeans with fleece lined, but they did have these like work pants with fleece lines. So I hope that these work for him. We did pick up, now this is going to be from Piggly Wiggly. They had that a pretty good sale going on this week, so picked up some of these craft beer battered French fries, as well as the onion rings. One lonely can of tomato soup over here. Some sauerkraut. I have a few casseroles on my meal plan here coming up, and so a couple of these ingredients I needed for that. All kinds of peanut butter, because they had that at a really great price. And then they had the bacon. Also 1 pound packages of bacon. And it looked like good bacon too, for $3.99. And some tater tots, not on sale, but needed that for something. Carrots, a couple of packages of cream cheese, French fried onions. Maria wants to make Rice Krispie treats, so we picked up some more Rice Krispies for that. And then I just stocked up on a bunch of cream soups because they had a sale 5 for $5. So some cream of chicken, cream of mushroom, cream of celery. They had these chips, party size bags, buy 2 get 1 free. So Cool Ranch Ruffles, because we still have some dip left that we made the other day. And then we did get a package of those like mixed cheese munchies or something. Kids are already eating those while they're watching the Packer game. And then we have some of these pouches of instant mashed potatoes, a couple of the butter and herb, and 1 buttery home style. I wish that they would have had more of this. That's what I would have gotten, but this was the last package, so I got 2 of these. And then we also picked up some juice. They had juice for $1.49, so some apple cherry, and apple cranberry. And I also did get 4 gallons of milk, one of which leaked in the back of the car, and I had to wash that all up. Although the crazy thing, I didn't see anywhere on any 4 of the jugs, there was no leaking spot anywhere. Not by the cap, not when I squeezed it, like there was not like a little bubbling area. I don't know what happened, but anyway, there was milk in the back of the van, or car. Before we left, we did get the hamburger buns cut out, and then I also, because we're going to be making a pack of brats, I also formed some to look somewhat like hot dog buns, in case somebody wants that, because when Warren gets in, he's out raking, and he had, did he have 2 beds to do, Sam, that Dad was raking?
Yeah.
Yeah, so 2 beds when he gets in, probably around between 2 and 2:30 is what we're estimating. Then we're going to do burgers, and those 5 brats that I have, we'll do that on the Blackstone. Make sure that there's some fries for Dad. It's not often that Warren comes in to ask me to help with something for harvest specifically, but he did come in a while ago and he said, I'm going to need you to help boom one of the beds. So Peter's going to be on one side, I'm going to be on the other side. So I am really quickly trying to get supper things prepared, because it's going to be about 3:30 that I go out. It's 5 after 3 right now. I'm still working through Joe's meal plan, and so tonight it is summer steak kebabs. It is about 42 degrees right now. It's nice and cold out there, but I was just, this took a while. My meat was not cut. This was actually a small venison roast, and so I had to cut it. I had to cube it all up, cut up the vegetables. It's just a yellow, a green pepper, and then just an onion. If I had zucchini or something like that, that works really well too. Sometimes canned potatoes, not sometimes, always canned potatoes are really good on here, but Joe, we're working through Joe's meal plan, and he actually requested to have mashed potatoes with this rather than rice, so I'm not going to put the canned potatoes on here, but I'm just stirring because the honey is very thick, And I'm stirring up the marinade here. It's finally starting to feel like I've got the honey kind of dissolved in here. This is oil and vinegar and honey and ginger and soy sauce and garlic powder, pepper. And then on the meat here, you can see I already sprinkled it with some meat tenderizer, which is a seasoned, it's basically like a seasoned salt, but it has something in it that, some enzyme in it that also helps to tenderize meat. We're gonna get this poured over.
Mom.
Yes, honey.
I'm gonna say Happy Halloween.
Okay, say it.
Happy Halloween, guys.
Oh, when I come back in, I will kind of rearrange all of these. Maybe I'll even start rearranging them now since some of them have more seasoning on them. Peter just came to pick me up. You know what, Peter? We're gonna actually move this. I'm gonna go put that into the recycling. Okay. Here, you take this. Oh. Was it zoomed way in?
No, I zoomed it out.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
All right. Peter just came to pick me up. We are heading down to boom this bed. It's not anything that I normally do. It's been a long, long time, actually. Nick and I were talking about this at lunch. He was like, I remember one time us booming together, like on the same four-wheeler. One would boom and the other one would work the blower. So, all right, let's go.
Well, this is also one of the biggest beds we have, too.
Great. Let's go for it. Right, so right now that boom is just getting laid out in place, and the idea is going to be that I will be on that four-wheeler that Warren is on right now, and over here Peter will be on that four-wheeler, and the boom will be hooked up to each of our four-wheelers, and we will seesaw along pulling the boom all the way down, because of course the wind, it's always like this. The end that that we pick up the fruit from, this is what likes to happen. The wind likes to blow the cranberries in a different direction than where you want them. So we're going to get all this fruit all the way down to the other end. Yeah. Well, it's 7 o'clock. Warren just got back from taking in the third trailer of cranberries. He's just went down to drain a couple of pumps just because of the extreme cold that we're getting tonight. I think he told me, I don't know, 14, tomorrow 13, or tonight 15, tomorrow 11, somewhere. All I know is it's cold. This is what the kebabs look like. What I did is I just kind of rotated this a couple times when I had a chance today, so that all of them would have time to marinate. I've got Maria in the house making like real mashed potatoes. Anyway, yes, she's making real mashed potatoes. Peter's setting the table. Joe is kind of harassing everyone, but everyone is so hungry and ready to eat. So hopefully by 7:15 we should be eating. I've had some people ask about the Blackstone and using it in cold temperatures. Yeah, it is cold, I think. Yeah, it's cold. I can see my breath right now. As long as I keep it on high and it isn't too windy, it works just fine. Yesterday was really windy when I was making the burgers. I was able to keep it on high and get them to cook actually just fine. But one thing that the Blackstone manual recommends, or says that you should not do, is to use the cover, like that cover right there. You should not put it over top when the Blackstone is on. But guess what? When it's cold, I put it over top and I don't worry about it, and nothing bad has ever happened yet. All right, I legit think it's just starting to rain right now. I thought maybe I was getting some splatters off of here, but no, they're sprinkles, so we got to get these cooked and get in. I've also found that when I'm doing something with a marinade like this that has honey in it, which like the sugars are gonna burn on a Blackstone like this, it also helps have a little squirt bottle with some oil, and you can just kind of squirt it over it a little bit. And that helps a lot with the cooking. But now we're getting some rain. Good morning. Chili is all made. I'm working through Joe's meal plan. Let me grab this coat. Okay. And we are having a very short crew today.
If you wait just a second, I will give you a ride down because I need to get my waders on.
Okay. Yep, I will wait a second. So as I was saying, we are having a short crew today. It's really just Warren and two guys. Peter's going to work for a short time here. It's homeschool co-op, and although he could miss that, he likes that. And I mean, he is 12 and working full-time, and it's a lot. It's a lot. So I think that he also needs that little bit of a break for him. So anyway, there's one last line of pipe. Warren already got it out of the bed. It's laying perpendicular up on the dike. And so last night I was like, you know, if you do need me, I could work from like 8 until 10:45. I do have to get 5 pounds of cranberries for someone today, and I need 50 pounds of cranberries for someone tomorrow. He was like, well, there is that one last line of pipe that could be hooked up on the dike. And I was like, yep, I can do that. I think it's going to be heavy. It's going to be 3-inch. The other day when I did 3-inch pipe, Sam did all of them. Well, Sam and Warren, depending on who I was working with on what line, they did the ones with the sprinkler heads, and I did the ones without the sprinkler heads. So it's going to be heavy, but I'm going to do it. I'm just going to be slow. I told Warren the other day, I'd rather be slow than wrong, because he grabbed a pipe from me and I was like, was I doing it wrong? And he was like, no. And then it dawned on me, I was like, I bet I wasn't doing it fast enough. I said, was I just too slow? He's like, oh, yeah. And I was just like, well, I'd rather be slow than wrong. I guess you could say that we're in the home stretch of cranberry harvest. This is what I just did, this line of pipe here. It was, like I said, it was perpendicular up here, and I pulled it out and then hooked it all up, which, I don't know, doesn't sound very hard, but it actually is quite a workout. And I'll tell you what the hardest part is. It's these. Take my glove off here. And my nose is dripping. It's these right here. Sometimes this part will get over onto here, and then it just is a dickens to try to get that back into position. But anyway, I did it. And this bed here has had the ditch edge raked, and now that the pipe is completely out, then Warren is going to, I don't think he's going to get this bed raked today, because like I said, we have a short crew today. It's just, well, at around 11, it's going to be down to just Warren, Liam, and Chad. They will all have to stay on the berry cleaner and loading trucks, or loading trailers. But there are 2 more beds. So yesterday, I just brought my camera out to film from the perspective of booming a bed, and my battery died. I think it was actually because it was kind of cold and my battery was a little low. Anyway, the cranberries that you see right over there, that's the second bed up. The bed farther than that, which you really can't see very well on camera, that's the one that we boomed. So if I scan down there maybe and zoom in a little bit, you can maybe see. So we got all the cranberries down to that end, Peter and I did, and it took us about an hour and 15 minutes. But Warren was very clear to just go slow and let the fruit, once you get the cranberries moving in the water, they want to continue moving. And so he was like, just go slow, and that's what we did. I made sure we went nice and slow so we didn't lose any berries over the boom. All right, so back to this. So this one will have to get boomed. Again, I don't know if they're gonna get to that today at all. Possibly when we get back from homeschool co-op, maybe Peter and I, maybe Warren's gonna have us do that. This is the last bed right here that Warren has to rake. It got really cold. First they were saying like 13 and 11 or whatever I told you, 15 and 11, whatever it was gonna be. It didn't get that cold. I think Warren said it got to 20 last night. Still cold, but everything was flooded. So he did not have to run the irrigation. You know, he didn't have to run the sprinklers for frost, which was very nice. Still, he comes out checking on water, make sure. I've told you guys before, muskrats can dig through a dike and let all the water go and whatever. It's a lot of problems come from that. I suppose I can just go this, oh no, because I have to go over and get cranberries. Yeah, I'll go this way. So, and tonight it's gonna get cold too, but they have upped it. I think instead of really cold, it's just gonna be pretty cold. But like Warren said, you know what? Sorry, walking and not paying attention to the camera. And the sun is really, really sunny today, or really bright today, which is good. He's just happy that everything is flooded, so he doesn't have to worry about all that cold. But there are a lot of cranberry marshes around that are not in that predicament. There's a lot of marshes that are like just got started, and they've got a whole crop left to go. It's just kind of, everyone does it a little differently, gets started a little differently. Every cranberry farmer's delivering their cranberries a different way, maybe dump trucks, maybe semis. The receiving stations will oftentimes kind of set up a schedule. So like you can bring in 2 trailers a day, you can bring in 4 dump trucks a day, you can whatever. And so you kind of just have to go with that. This bed here has already been harvested. It looks all nicely combed out, and Warren is gradually going to be bringing the water down. I already got the 5 pounds. I had enough in the garage from when I pulled a couple of days ago, and I didn't have to worry at all about it not being in good shape because it's been cold enough. It's been staying nice and chilled. So we're going to get 50 pounds, but it looks like they're doing the cleanup round here. I might have to get the 50 pounds later today. I really don't. In the cleanup round, there's a lot more leaf trash. So when I dump it into those big drying racks that I have, there's just a lot more leaves that have to like dry and fall through. It's just a little bit more time consuming and tedious. Just a little bit more and they'll be done with this one.